Hello, Knox students. Welcome to Psych 267, Organizational Behavior. My name is Frank McAndrew, and I'm going to be your instructor this term. So let me start by talking a little bit about what the subject matter for the course is all about. The life of an organization, especially work organizations, depends entirely on the social interaction among the people who work there. And this course is really going to be about that social interaction. How do people make decisions in groups? What makes somebody an effective leader versus a terrible leader? What are the conformity pressures like that people deal with it? How does an organization manage diversity when you've got a lot of people who are resistant to that kind of difference? That's the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about this term. So it's basically social psychology applied to the life of work organizations. And because I'm a social psychologist, I really enjoy teaching this course because I get to talk about a lot of the stuff that I'm just naturally interested in. Now, more than most of the courses that I teach, I'm going to apologize for having to do this online because this is one of the classes that's most fun to teach when we're all together in one place. There's a lot of interactive activities, sort of group games, decision-making tasks, filling out personality questionnaires. Some of you may even be aware that in some years we've done team-building activities at the college swimming pool. Anyway, because of life being the way it is right now, we can't do all of those things together in person. But I am going to try to make the course as interesting and as interactive as I can, and I hope that you will enjoy it. So let me talk a little bit about how the class is going to be organized. First of all, there is a web page for the course where everything is going to be available to you. You're going to download outside readings, you're going to see the syllabus, you're going to have access to PowerPoint slides and video clips. So bookmark this thing. You're going to be interacting with it a lot. I sent you a link to this in an email, so you should have access to it. Also, there is a textbook for the course, and you do need to get this textbook. The textbook is the heart and soul of what we're doing in the class, and you really need to have it right away because the modules in the class move pretty quick, and we're going to be having a quiz after the first week of the term. I'm going to be using the 18th edition of the book, but if you can save yourself some money by using the 17th edition or the 16th edition of the book, maybe even the 15th edition, that should be just fine. The editions aren't that different from each other, so a slightly older edition of the book should get you by just fine. Now, the course is completely asynchronous. Meaning that all of the material is there for you to access at your own pace. Now, having said that, there are some rules. Everybody has to finish a module by the same time. Everybody has to turn in written assignments at the same time. So you will be kept together to that extent, but you'll have a lot of freedom about when you do things. So for example, every module will end with a quiz, and the quiz will be available for 3 days. And you'll have any time within those 3 days to take it. So there are 7 modules, and as I said, it's asynchronous, but once per week, there will be a synchronous meeting on Wednesdays. So Wednesdays, the class can come together and interact with me. Attendance at this is optional. I'm not covering new material. I'm not lecturing. I'm not sharing anything important that you won't get that information in some other way as well. What it is a chance for me to get to know you a little bit, a chance for us to interact in real time. I'll usually show a little video clip and give you a preview of what's coming up in the next module. I'm also available then to answer any questions that you might have. Now, aside from that once per week synchronous meeting, I'm also going to have virtual office hours. So every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, between the hours of 1:30 and 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time, I will be available to you. I promise that during that time, I'll be sitting there with my computer. If you send me an email, you will get a very quick response, and I will be available to interact with. Now, I'll obviously respond to emails that you send me at any time, but if you contact me during those virtual office hours, you'll get a very quick response from me. I also encourage you, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, just send me an email and we can set up a Zoom meeting and get to know each other in person a little bit. So if you have some questions or some issues you want to talk about, we can certainly arrange that. Okay, so let's get back to the modules. The modules, there are 7 of them. Plan on spending about 8 days per module, and each module is going to be sort of structured the same way. There are going to be readings from the textbook. Most of the modules will be based on 2 chapters in the textbook, although some are a little more and some are a little less than that, but on average, 2 chapters per module. There's also a set of PowerPoint slides that are narrated by me that you can click on and listen to and watch right off of the website. Most of the questions on the quizzes will come from the textbook, but I will warn you that it is fair game for me to ask you some questions based on things that I talked about in the PowerPoint presentations. So those are fair game. But if you just studied the textbook really well and are ready for the quizzes, you'll get by in the course without worrying too much about the PowerPoint slides. Each module also has a collection of what I'm calling outside readings. These are things you can access right through the website. Most of them are short articles from business magazines or websites addressing some issue that we're covering in that particular module. The outside readings are also fair game for the quizzes, but I don't want you spending a lot of time studying those. You should be studying the textbook for sure, and the PowerPoint slides to some extent. The outside readings, if you do the reading with any degree of interest, and then just jot down a 1 or 2 sentence summary of what is the main message of this outside reading, what did I take away from it, you will have gotten whatever it is you need to know to answer questions on the quiz. So don't spend a lot of time reading those outside readings or studying them. Just kind of read them because I think you'll find them interesting and enjoyable. There are also a bunch of video clips with each module. These are not required. I will not be giving you test questions or anything based on the video clips, but I think you'll find them interesting and entertaining, and they will help you remember the material. So think of them as sort of fun extra things that are available to you if you're interested in that topic, but don't feel the need to take notes on them or study them in any great detail. There are 4 written assignments in the class, and I will give you more details about these later on as they become relevant to what we're doing in the course. But each one of them is designed to get you to reflect upon yourself. In one of them, you'll be doing a personality test that you'll then write an essay about. Another one, you'll be examining the culture of an organization that you've worked in. Another one is a simulated decision-making task where you'll have to examine the values that you bring to bear in a situation like that. So all of these are things that will help you think about what kind of a leader you will be, what kind of an employee you will be. What are the things in organizations that will lead to more or less job satisfaction for you? So they won't be difficult. You don't have to do any outside research. You'll just have to do the activity and then write an essay based on what you learned about yourself in that. There is something called the Psychology Department Writing Policy. You can download this from the website as well. This is an opportunity for you to get some bonus points if you write these assignments without making any writing mistakes, but you'll also get some deductions if you're not doing some things correctly. So by all means, take a look at the Psych Department Writing Policy, because in all of our courses at Knox, we're trying to get you to be better writers and better communicators. And this writing policy is a way of helping you really work on your writing skills. You can ask me questions about this later on if you have any. So that's about all I can think of for now that you need to know. But I hope you're excited for the class. I hope you're going to enjoy it. And let me just say one more thing about the quizzes. The quizzes are all open book and open note. So when the time for the quiz comes, you can have the textbook there in front of you. You can have any notes that you've taken on the PowerPoint slides or on the textbook. But I really strongly recommend that you study for these quizzes as if they are not going to be open book. There is a time limit. Most of the questions are not going to be things you can just kind of go to the book and look up. They're going to require you to apply things that you've learned. And if you haven't done much preparation before the quiz, it's not going to go very well. So study for these things as if it was a regular test where you're not going to be able to use your book or notes. The reason I'm making it open book and open note is that I understand that I would not be able to stop people from cheating. The temptation for some people would just be too strong, and it wouldn't be fair then to the people who played by the rules and didn't cheat. So I'm just going to let everybody use the books and notes, but you are not allowed to communicate with each other. You are not allowed to collaborate on the quizzes. You're not allowed to talk to other students in the class after you've taken a quiz about the quiz. So that's the one rule that I'm going to enforce as an honor code violation. Also, given the fact that a lot of you are working under very awkward or stressful circumstances this term, I'm going to be dropping your lowest quiz grade. So if you had a week where you just didn't get to study very much and you bomb a quiz, it goes away. We'll just throw it out and it won't affect your grade at all. If there's a week where you're just swamped with other things and you just want to skip a quiz, not take it at all, that can be the one that we drop. So that gives you a little bit of flexibility. I'm also going to drop the lowest written assignment score. So you've got 4 written assignments. I'm going to be dropping the one that is the lowest grade that you've got. But your grade in the course will be the average of the scores you get on all of the quizzes and the written assignments, and each one will be weighted the same. Each quiz is weighted the same, and each written assignment is weighted the same as a quiz. So it should be pretty easy to keep track of how your grades go. So I guess that's all I've got for now. So get started on the first module and let's learn about organizational behavior.